Hello, everyone. My name is Juliet Keshinro, and I want to welcome you to this edition of Real Girl Real Talk. This edition is dedicated to women in commemoration of the International Day for Women. This year's theme is Digital for Equality. And with me on the set today, I have a phenomenal young woman. And I mean phenomenal. When you get to meet her, you understand why I said she's phenomenal. So you're welcome, Miss Kimberly.
Thank you.
I want you to introduce yourself to us. Let's meet you.
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Kimberly Edidiong Okon. I am a forex trader, a graphic designer, a video editor, and a creative project manager. I'm basically a digipreneur, if you would like to say. I'm a digital entrepreneur. So, yeah, that's what I do.
I told you she's phenomenal and very interesting.
Yeah.
My first question, really, for you is how did you get into the digital space and how have you evolved and managed to maintain your own within the space?
Wow, that's a long story. How did I get into the digital space? Okay, so it started in when I got into the university. I studied computer science and management, and applying for a course like that, people would, coming out of secondary school, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? At that point in time, honestly, I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I just went for
know, right?
a course. Yeah, I went for a course that I know that okay, I would have found myself liking something around that area. Once you mention something about a computer or a laptop or a device, a gadget, whatever, I'm drawn to it. So I was like,
Wow.
okay, let's go to computer science and management. And then when I got in and I was seeing plenty programming languages, I got confused. I was like, this coding is not for me. There was a lot of C plus, C plus plus, and all of that. And really and truly, I had to tell myself the truth that this thing is great, but it's not my thing like that. And then we had a course in one semester where we did graphic design, still in computer science and management, and I was drawn to it. I just liked the idea of being able to create something from your mind to a paper or to a screen. So if we're asked to design a flyer or something, it was just really interesting to
For you.
recreate something like that. It was just creating was just really interesting to me. And so I decided that I'm going to tilt towards the graphic design or creative aspect of computer or
Yeah.
anything digital. And then from there the love grew for creative designs. And then after my final exams in school, I didn't even wait for graduation. I just went to look for a job. Part of me was I was just trying to be grown up and adult about everything. So I went to look for a job and I got a job in a startup company at the time as a front desk person. But then again, the company did not have a graphic designer. And so you know how all these new guys will make you do all the work. You be marketer, only you will be graphic designer, customer service, and all that. And so I didn't have experience. So I was very open to doing whatever I was told, really, whether I was underpaid or paid properly for it. It didn't matter. And so that was where I started to apply the knowledge that I learned in school. They'll just tell me that okay, we need to design this thing and send to this client.
Yeah.
So I would just quickly put green, yellow, put it on the screen, draw a rectangle. Yeah, I was just learning on the job. I'll check YouTube, watch a tutorial video, implement it, and so that's how I grew. And then from there, I I graduated, came back to Nigeria for my NYSC, and I didn't stop. I just kept on. While at home, I'll just plug my laptop to. I didn't have a table at the time. I'll just plug it and just put it on the chair while I just design stuff. And I created a portfolio, and that portfolio landed me my first job even
Yeah.
before NYSC. So they were looking for a sales rep, but me and Holy Spirit, we had a conversation. So I was like, I don't want to do sales rep. I want to do graphic design. So I prepared myself for the interview. I sent them my portfolio. I went there. I was talking to them, and they're like, okay, sales rep. Oh, that's what we have. I was like, yes, I know it's sales rep that you have, and I don't mind doing the sales rep job, but I'm a graphic designer. So can I send you my portfolio? In the interview, I was saying it, and funny enough, they listened. So
Wow.
a few days later, they called me. They asked me to send my portfolio. I sent it. This portfolio, see, I'm embarrassed by that portfolio right now. But then that was what just got me the job. I think it was the resilience and just the fact that I had something to show for it. And so I got the job. And even after getting the job, I went for camp, and then I went back there. So I was being paid as a copper, and I was still collecting salary. So yeah, that was
You started out as a
I
big
started
chick.
as a big girl in the game. And then I just grew and found my niche. At the time, I started to like logo and brand designing. Just creating logos and identities for companies or for people, basically. Just creating something that signifies that, okay, this is me. And so I got my first logo job there, and I just kept on going with the whole digital thing, and that was where I I delved into forex. I just decided to go and learn and give a year of my life to learning to see how this thing works. I didn't want to just I wanted to just learn another skill. So I learned forex trading, and I've been trading since then. I've always just believed in following what you are passionate about and what you're driven to, so you don't feel like it's work, and you can just even when it's tough, you can still keep going. So while trading, I began to serve as a volunteer in my young adult church. And so I was thrust into, leading the creative team and also leading the production team. And so I then began to learn more skills,
Yeah.
different aspects of creative design. So I said I was just doing logo and branding. Then I started doing, I went back to flyer designs and just understanding how designing different design concepts work for different industries, different age brackets, and different age groups. And so it just broadened my mind on creativity. And also, because I started to manage all that they were doing, that's why I said I'm a creative project manager, because I manage the creative designs and the production that is done, and it works a lot together. That is what has made me who I am today.
Wow. I hope a lot of my young people, my young girls are listening. She has not wasted any time. She has not wasted opportunities. And I really, really hope that you're listening and learning one or two things. So I want to delve away a little because I know that when it comes to the digital space or any career that seem it's for men or male saturated, women will have to struggle to show up. So did you ever lack confidence? Was there a time where you struggled with low self-esteem? Or was there a time where you had to fight for you to be relevant?
Okay. The thing about me is that yes, I'm female, and I acknowledge everything about me being female, but I have some I don't know what to call it, masculine, traits. I'm putting on a dress, but the regular me would just be on a big t-shirt and trousers. People that know me know. And I think just being a tomboy, if that's the right word, I grew up being a tomboy, and so I was always around boys. I was always, in trying to learn the things that guys were doing because I was just drawn to it. I mean, when my friends would be playing 10-10 and catch, I'll be playing ball with the boys. And so I think I found a way to to be comfortable in a male dominated area. Even when I was working as a graphic designer in that company at the time, I was the only female in an office filled with guys. They were all guys. I was the only female, and I felt very comfortable there. So I think usually there is the whole patriarchy and all of that going on in the society. We can't ignore that. But for me, what happened was I just found a way to realize that, okay, or I found a way to make myself comfortable and just see them as peers and not, I didn't see any gender there. And I know that there's a lot of male dominated area. This is a male dominated industry and females are not allowed. But there are also spaces where females are allowed to thrive. And fortunately for me, that was a space where I was allowed to thrive. So I didn't feel any intimidation whatsoever. I didn't feel my self-esteem was even off the roof, because then I would be able to do stuff that guys would not be able to do, and so it will boost my morale or my self-confidence. And it was just a positive workspace. I'm not saying this is the same for everybody.
I was going to ask that question.
Yeah.
Do you think that your space, that the digital space encourages the female gender to thrive? Do you have biases on the women, I say, or the ladies, the young girls, they're still struggling? Do they face some kind of intimidation from the male folk?
I believe that the world is evolving, and a lot of change has happened mentally and socially, right? So back in those days, and when I say those days, I mean those days, there was a large margin where okay, this is an area where guys dominate.
Wow.
And then especially digitally, I mean, there are other industries where there's still this issue, but we're talking about digital space, right? So back then it was a thing, but right now I believe that there's some sort of balance. Women are able to thrive in the digital space as well as men. Even women are dominating the digital space. We have the God-given ability to use both sides of our brains, fortunately. So women the space is open now. I believe the biases have come down to the barest minimum, and I see women thriving in the digital space here and there. So there is that mentality of, oh, I can't really operate here because guys operate here. Is I dare say it's long gone.
Long gone.
Yes.
Yeah, long gone. Thank you so much. You bring so much information to the table, and I'm so glad I'm here, sharing this space with you today. Are you living your dream? Let me just put that in quote. Are you living your dream? Are you where you ever dreamed? As a child, as children, when I grow up, I want to become. I want to do this. This is what. Are you living your dream? Sort of.
That question is a good question. It's a good question. It's making me think, really, am I living my dream? Let me process that and give the response. I think living my dream is basically doing the things that I've set my heart to do and making sure that I do them. So there was a place of fantasy, and as I kept on growing and I kept on involving myself in different types of work and all of that, I realized that it is what you do, that is what you dream and what you do, that's actually results in living your dream. So I could be fantasizing that, oh, I want to be here, I want to be in this place, but it takes time and it takes process. And so am I taking these steps to find myself in those places that I've dreamed of? Yes, that is what I'm doing. And I found myself in spaces and platforms and environments where I didn't know that, oh, I could be here. I didn't even mention it, but I recently started a YouTube channel where I talk about all things Forex. And I didn't even do any publicity on that. I was just basically very passionate about people in the Forex space, because I noticed there was a lot of isolation and, not enough correct information about this foreign exchange market put out. And I started the channel, and I didn't do any publicity, and in a short period of time, I got over 1,000 subscribers and counting. And people just reaching out. I even opened the Telegram channel. Simply means that for me, the fulfillment or living my dreams is having a desire in my heart and putting this desire to action and seeing it bear fruit. So I would say that yes, so I'm living my dreams. Of course, there's a place I want to see myself. I'm even going to say it out there. I want to see myself in the United Nations. One way or another, I don't even know how it's going to happen, but I'm just saying it.
Go for
Okay.
it.
So yeah,
We are rooting for you. Don't worry.
Thank you.
We're rooting for
Yes. So yeah, I am living my dreams in that sense.
Okay. Honestly, I am so thrilled with the kind of information you're reeling out. And I'm so excited because I know if young people, particularly young girls, are listening to you right now, I'm sure they will be encouraged to do something. So that takes me to my next question. Do you think the girl child or the female gender are positioning themselves appropriately? You created the opportunity for yourself. You took the opportunity and delivered on the opportunity. So I just want to know, do you think the girl child, the female gender, they're positioning themselves appropriately to get to achieving your kind of results or even better?
This question is or the answer will be in two parts. Um, Recognizing the people or the female, females that have put themselves out there. Now more than ever, we're seeing a lot of females, delve into this this tech space. We have seen a lot of females find themselves in industries or even create industry niches that where they were, where people were not seeing it, even in the fintech space, in agrotech, in just basically every technology, every technological space, every digital space, women are rising. So I'm recognizing them for that. And also, I know that we can do more. I believe that there's space, there's room for more. So there's room for more females to go ahead. Like, we are smart. We have a lot of mental capacity to organize things, to learn new skills, and not just not just depend on like things to be done by the other gender, that's the male gender, and think that there is no where it is written where the tech space is for men, the kitchen is for women, right? So it is basically, we need more people to be able to rise up and and delve into these spaces and understand that there's room for them. And I'm sure that God has put this dream in different people's hearts, and they're just probably thinking about the limitations. Okay, it's easy to say it when you are in an urban environment, but if you are in a suburban environment, it's not really easy, right? But I'll just say that they should keep dreaming and keep going for what they want. There is room for more females in this digital space.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that response. So, what would you say to an average young girl out there? How would you encourage her? What would you tell her to do to help her put herself out there or position herself appropriately?
I'll say I'm going to take a point from what I said previously. Keep dreaming and keep learning. I don't think that I'm such a knowledge lover, lover of knowledge and application of knowledge. It's even something that I've been, trying to get myself to be conscious of lately, that this knowledge that you apply, that is power. So I'm such a lover of knowledge. So keep learning. Don't stop acquiring new skills. If there's artificial intelligence now, chat GPT, and all that new stuff that's coming in, like, expose yourself to that knowledge. Let people know what you like. Let people know that you are interested in this thing. There's opportunity everywhere. And opportunity is waiting for you to speak. Opportunity is waiting for you to indicate interest. You never know who is listening. But when you are interested in something and you are vocal about it, people can point to you and say, oh, that girl that likes programming, that girl that likes to fintech, that girl that wants to delve into, the technological aspect of makeup. You think that there's no technological aspect to things until you begin to do your research,
To
begin to
explore.
expose yourself to this knowledge. So keep dreaming, keep learning, and keep speaking about what you're interested in, and just apply the knowledge that you have and keep going, and you find out that there's no limitation, there's nothing holding you back except yourself. Really, there's nothing holding you back. So there's room for every female in the tech space. I believe that, for me, this is my own philosophy. If someone does work, or if someone puts in quality of work, I believe that they should be compensated with the quality that every other person is compensated with.
Irrespective of their gender.
Irrespective of gender. So we should not use gender as a bias for reward. So we shouldn't use gender as a bias for reward for work, especially because it takes the same mental capacity, cognitive capacity, and whatnot. As far as the job is done, the person should get compensated or rewarded as they should be, without thinking about what they look like, what their skin color is, what their height is. You should just compensate them in that way. In talking more about equality and equity, more than the pay is also in the treatment of the people. So I believe that there shouldn't be any form of special treatment. And this is not to say that there's no, of course, there are the norms of how people should be addressed and all of that. But I'm basically saying nobody should be looked down on or treated less than generally because of their gender. In treating everybody with respect, treating everybody with valuing what everybody brings to the table, and you just putting enough value in what, especially, we're talking about females, in what women bring to the table is going to help a lot, because some people have shortchanged themselves in their companies, in their workspace, because the female opinion was seen as a secondary opinion, or it wasn't seen as important enough. Whereas if you could just pay attention, if you could just listen and see the person as a human being, just bringing an idea or expressing something, you could have opened yourself up to, better increase in your company or in your workspace. So just I believe how women should be treated better in the workspace, and women should be not be seen as secondary in terms of opinions and whatever they bring to the table. Everybody should have value, and everybody's value should be recognized. Yeah,
Everybody should have value, and everybody's value should be recognized. There was something you said that really intrigued me. You said that you recognize what you have, then you speak about it.
yeah,
You understand? That was how you created the opportunity for yourself. The opportunity was not lying there. So what are your last words? What do you want to leave that young girl out there with? What is one advice you want her to remember, that, oh, Kimberly said this at her interview, and I'm holding on to it to help me find myself, find my space, and thrive within my space?
yes. As you ask this question, the scripture that says that God said, "Before I formed you, I knew you, and I called you." Everybody has a purpose.
Yeah.
Everybody has a reason why they are here, and God knows that reason. God is aware of that reason, and He did not make you the way you are by mistake. He didn't create you to like what you like by mistake. Whether the amount of people who are interested in what you're interested in are few or many, He didn't create you the way you are by mistake. So in our DNA, in how God made us, there is a specific purpose or a specific set of assignments that we are supposed to do. There are spaces that we're supposed to fill. We are the salt of the earth and the light of the world, and we're supposed to shine. So what I'm going to say is, don't dim your light, and don't make sure that your salt is felt in every industry, every area that you find yourself, because you are not there by mistake. There is a purpose, there is a reason why God created you in the way that you are, and created the interest and puts in you the interest that you have. So don't stop, pruning and honing yourself and constantly seeking from God. What's next? What's the next step? What do I do next? Because God that created us knows why He created us. And so He knows the steps that we're supposed to take. And because He knows the steps that we're supposed to take, He's the one we should go to and ask these questions. He's the one we should inquire, and He's the one we should listen to, because He alone knows our value. So find your value in God. I've said so many things, but just go to God for these things. You are created for a purpose. Do not dim your light, and make sure that your salt is felt in every area and every industry that you find yourself.
Wow. If I say I have not enjoyed myself on this set, it's a lie. For me, because my generation, we actually used to say, if only we had this opportunity, if only. But the truth is that we could have created those opportunities for ourselves.
Yes.
That's the truth. We could have created it. We could have done better. But thank God that the younger generation, they're catching up, they're understanding, and they're doing something about everything happening around them. I believe that you have learned one or two things from this particular edition. I want to say something. The Young and Pure family is a family that caters to the need of young girls. All right, we educate, we empower, and we advocate for the girl child. Our umbrella name is Association for the Education of Young Girls. We are celebrating women this March, and we hope that these young girls will become one day women of integrity, of purpose, of, they just put themselves out there doing the right things, and then answering the questions, and then solving problems, critically thinking, and working out solutions to the problems in their immediate environment. All right, Miss Kimberly, it was amazing listening to you. As I was listening, I was learning. There's no age limit to learning. It's life is about learning, unlearning, and relearning. There's so much to take away from here, and I hope that a lot of my young girls out there, you have written down something, and you have your actions, you understand, stated by the things that you have written out. Because when you have knowledge and you don't act on it, you're going nowhere to happen. The only way you make progress is to act on your knowledge. It's a wrap from us here at the studio. I enjoyed myself. So let's say bye to them. So till we see you next time on another edition of Real Girl Real Talk. We'll say bye.
Bye.
I am Juliet Keshinro.
And I am Kimberly Okun. And together we embrace equity.